How many of us at any given moment have a face on us that would be an unapproachable face? You might say it's a RUF, a resting unapproachable face. Hi, my name is Father Mike Schmitz, and this is Ascension Presents. So, the virtues, they're important to know. They're even more important to live. So we probably know the cardinal virtues, right? The hinge virtues: prudence, temperance, justice, fortitude. We can talk about those at another time if we haven't talked about them yet. I don't know. There's probably a link below or a link above if we've talked about them already. The ancients had those, and the Greeks, they talked about them a lot. You know, the philosophers, and like such a good way to live your life. Basically, what it takes to live a heroic life, or what it takes to live a good life, is justice, temperance, prudence, and fortitude, right? What it takes to live a holy life are the theological virtues: faith, hope, and love. And those are gifts of God that we can cooperate with. But they're gifts, right? Faith and hope and love, all gifts. But did you know there's a whole host of other virtues as well? They have the four principal virtues, the three theological virtues, cardinal virtues, the theological virtues. But you also have these things called social virtues, right? Social virtues. What's an example of a social virtue? There's this parable, not a parable, it's a story from the Bible, from the Gospels. It actually happened. There were these 10 lepers, and they met Jesus, and they said they were lepers, so they were going to die, basically, and from leprosy, and they were outcasts, and they said, Jesus, Son of David, have pity on us, have mercy on us. So Jesus says, go show yourselves to the priests. They run off, and on the way they were healed. One of them, realizing he was healed, came back to Jesus, fell at his feet, and thanked him. And Jesus says, where are the other 9? Has none but this foreigner, the guy was a Samaritan, has none but this foreigner returned to give thanks to God. And you can kind of get the sense that Jesus is like, seriously? You were dead, basically. You had leprosy, cut off from everyone, gonna die. You're not gonna die anymore. You get to rejoin the people, you know, your families, friends, and you're not even gonna come back and say thanks. Here's thankfulness. Thanksgiving, gratitude, is what you call one of the social virtues. It in and of itself is good, but it's almost always in relation to someone else. So, hence social, right? It's a relationship virtue. But it's so necessary. Like if we're gonna actually have like the heroic virtues, the good life, justice, temperance, fortitude, prudence, we're gonna have a holy life, faith, hope, and love. We also have to cultivate ourselves to be kind of people who have these social virtues, in particular, these two. Thankfulness is one of them. What does it take to be thankful? Here's a question we can ask ourselves. Here's a question I ask myself. How many people have I thanked today? I'm not sure when you're listening to this or watching this, but if it's like halfway through the day, have I thanked anyone today? Like if I actually, and not just thank, like, oh, thank you, by the way. In order to thank someone like from the heart, genuinely, in a way that's not just kind of like a cursory, by the way, thanks, I have to notice them. I have to stop and notice. How many times has someone done something for us and we kind of just like blow right by it? Or we just assume like, yeah, of course you're going to do that thing for me. Sometimes this happens in families where, you know, maybe someone made coffee for everybody. And she's like, yeah, because coffee's made. When I was a kid, my mom, I didn't have an alarm until at some point, right? But my mom would come and knock on the door. She would wake me up. What a thankless job is that? Wow, moms and dads who have to wake up your kids on a regular basis, or maybe if you have roommates, you wake up because they don't want to set their own alarm, or they have set their alarm and it keeps going off really, really loudly. That happened in seminary. There was a guy, man, oh man, down the hallway, he had this loudest alarm and he would sleep through it. It was crazy. Good guy though. What a thankless job that is, to be able to stop and note someone, to notice the fact that like, wait a second, you didn't have to do what you did, and to be thankful. See, one of the reasons why thankfulness is so important is because it demands that we notice other people. It demands that we actually look up from ourselves and don't take things for granted. Thanksgiving is that time, that virtue, social virtue, where we reveal that we're willing to notice other people and to acknowledge that they actually matter, and that whatever they've done for us, whether it's super small or something more significant, they didn't have to do it. And even like, what's their job? You know, they had to do it. Kind of like, no. In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. Because someone can, you know, check you out at the grocery store, but to really notice how they're doing it, to notice them, and to be able to extend to them, I just really want to say thank you so much for doing this for me. But that's one of the social virtues. But secondly, is a related virtue. It's called affability. I don't know if you ever heard that word. If someone is affable or they have affability, what does that mean? Well, among other things, it means that they're approachable, that they're easy to talk to. In fact, I think the etymology of the word affability has to do with like ease of conversation or ease in approaching this person. How many of us at any given moment have a face on us that would be an unapproachable face? You might say it's a RUF, a resting unapproachable face, versus how many of us have have affability, have an air of affability, like, no, please approach me. Please, like, you're free to bother me. You're free to come up to me. You're free to kind of talk with me. Now, here's the thing. I'm an introvert. And so, like, I get a lot of more energy from not talking to people. I get more energy from, like, getting in my head, having that time of, like, thinking deeply, or just being away from people. And yet, to cultivate the virtue of affability means, like, I'm open to this. I'm open to other people. So you see how it's connected. The virtue of thankfulness means I notice other people. The virtue of affability means I'm open to other people. And to combine those two means what? It means that my heart is then set on people. My heart is then not focused on myself. My heart is focused on the people around me. And it's one of the most basic kind of virtues, the social virtues, because it just makes life that much more full. Whenever we celebrate Thanksgiving, any kind of Thanksgiving, it's meant to make life just that much more full. So, to notice people and thank them genuinely, even when you're in your own head, by yourself, have that air of affability, like approachability, to be easy to talk to, and recognize that if I do that, if I cultivate those social virtues for the Lord, then the Lord can use those social virtues to establish relationships and to bless the people around me and to bless people around you. So those are some thoughts. Let me know what you think. Maybe this is like, you're like, whatever. Like, I want to have RUF, resting on approachable face, and you can't tell me that I don't get to have it. Okay, bro, whatever. Anyways, I thank you. Sorry, this sounds really cheesy right now. I really mean it. Thank you for watching these videos. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for being someone who just searching in order to learn more about the Lord and about what it is to live as a Christian. I'm really grateful. For all of us here at Ascension Presents, we're all very grateful. God bless.